Hello, my name is Agreewell and welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe and click the bell icon for new video. This video I'm gonna share you something about how people get rich, according to my experience. The rich don't work for money. They don't get paid for the work or hard work they do. Maybe you know someone that works for money and earns a lot. It doesn't matter how much they earn, it will come to an end. And they are not really earning much if you put the size in some serious perspective. Working for money will only make you a high-income earner at best. That doesn't make people rich. Many sports players and entertainers today are income earners. And most go broke after their play days are over. Even while they are still earning big, they pay huge taxes and spend the money on things that only increase the taxes. These high-income earners might look like the rich, but they are not. If you have followed my work, you would understand that my definition of a rich person is not a high-income earner. You are rich if you have an income of over $1 million coming in every year without having to do anything, and your mandatory expenses is not more than 50% of that. The income is not a reward for any work, but it is a system set up to produce income even while you sleep. If you can't make money while you sleep, it means you will work like a mule till you die. Work ought to be fulfilling, but the game of money is completely different. The hardest working people often have the least money, and as long as you think that you have to earn money through work, you will never have a lot of money. Big money is not earned, it is made. Even top bankers and hedge fund managers don't earn a lot as salaries. The highest earning head of a central bank in the world is the governor of the Bank of England. And he earns just about $1.14 million in a year. Most others earn much less. Just for some perspective, his US counterpart earns about $203,000 in a year. And you know there are properties that are $20 million, $50 million, $100 million and above. This is to show you that compensation for work, even smart work, is not the way to riches. Rich people have businesses. Rich people have money working for them. Rich people play the game of money. Rich people work, but they don't work for money. So what do they work for? Dependence on a paycheck creates poverty. The problem with a paycheck is that it blocks your mind from thinking straight. People are mentally bound to how much they earn. This is why they require a mindset shift to move from one income level to another. Rich people think of how to create wealth. They think of how to create a fountain that perpetually produces money for them. But poor and average people just want to satisfy today's needs. They don't want to think about tomorrow. The money game is played with the mind. When a person's mind is conditioned to the paycheck, they don't see a need to create a business or have other income streams. The paycheck continues to be the solace until the day it stops coming. But with the concept of retirement plans, people are given the idea that the paycheck will keep coming as long as they live. They never think about what they can do if there is no paycheck. The paycheck is a mental limitation. It is a factor that keeps people from what they can do. Most people don't think unless the backs are against the wall. Don't trade your future millions for today's pennies. One of the basic differences between the rich and everybody else is that the rich play a long game. Most people only think short term. Many live from month to month. If you want to play the long game and win, then you must be prepared to deal with losses in the short term. The losses involve walking away from the instant benefit for the benefits after a decade. There are deals and transactions that require instant benefits. But if that is all a person takes part in, it is almost impossible to get rich. Multiple millions and billions are built. They are grown over several years, and in some cases, over several decades. Always think about the worth of what you are involved in. In 10 years, what would it be worth? Trust me, 10 years can come by so fast. The only thing that will make you ahead in 10 years are the things you do differently today. Give yourself the chance to grow wealth for at least a decade. Don't burn all your future prospects. Don't trade your future millions for a few bucks today. Fix your gaze on the big wave. There is an alarming thing that happens when you are just focused on the paycheck. Big money moves will be happening all around you and you wouldn't notice. Your mind would just be narrowed on that paycheck. The moment the paycheck is taken away from you and you have to fend for yourself in the wild business world, you will be surprised what you would see that you never saw before. Unless your gaze is on the big wave, you will miss the opportunities. If your concern is only on the reward for your hard work, you won't get rich. Rich people learn to take their eyes away from the compensation. If your eyes are fixed on the compensation, you will not see the big picture. If you don't see the big picture, you will miss obvious opportunities. Take an example of two construction workers hired to work on a massive resort in an average town. One is fixed on the amount he earns per day for his work. The other is thinking about the changes that will happen to the town when the resort is completed in 2 years. One worker is thinking of how the construction company can increase his wages. But the other worker is thinking of how he can benefit from the changes the resort will bring to the town. This second worker, who is thinking about the future, will find a way to buy lands nearby. He can even write big companies to be their official partner in the small town to sell the products. There are myriads of things he can do. 10 years after the construction of the resort, the first worker is looking for another construction company to hire him. Meanwhile, the second worker is major businessman in the now big town that used to be average. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Work for free and figure stuff out. The story of Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad Poor Dad always comes to mind. When he wanted to learn about money and went to his best friend's dad, the man told young Robert to work for free. His best friend's dad was an entrepreneur. The man had understood the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur. He said to young Robert, "The moment I start paying you, you start thinking like an employee." So Robert agreed to work for free and learn about money. But then he asked his best friend's dad, "So how am I going to make money if I work for free?" Then the man gave a beautiful answer, "That's the stuff you figure out." The rich mindset is the entrepreneurial mindset that figures stuff out. Working for free already puts you in a tight position. It forces you to think. Yes, you have to make money, but not as compensation for your hard work. How am I going to make this work? Figure things out and grow rich. The 3 most important things in real estate investing are location, location, location. In growing wealth is position, position, position. Your position determines a lot of things by default. People will only offer what you look like you can handle. Also, your position determines how much seriousness and attention is given to what you propose. It is always good to position oneself as high as possible. Positioning is the big secret of the business world. I have seen 2 people doing the same thing and one person is paid double what the other person gets. Interestingly, both of them are ladies. The one being paid double was coming from another company while the other one was fresh from school. They were nearly age mates. Positioning is not merely in appearance. It is in the people, things, and places you choose to associate with. If you are going to be rich, you've got to learn how to sell. Even if you are not going to be an entrepreneur, you have to at least know how to sell yourself. Selling is about making people buy. Selling is about being confident about what you have to offer. Selling is about making people confident in making a buying decision in your presence. When people want something badly enough, they find a way to afford it. Most people think selling is about selling. But the reality is that selling is about mastering how people buy. Take this example. A young dad walks into a store where musical instruments are sold. An experienced salesperson notices him and asks him the question, "What musical instrument is your kid learning?" That one question has already done the job. It is only in rare cases that the young dad won't buy something. People love to buy but hate to be sold. This is why you need to learn how to sell if you don't know. All the rich people I know can sell. It seems to be the only thing they have in common, aside from money. Thank you for watching this video.